Zainab, see what you have done to yourself. You followed them and do BBL. Mom, I'm so much sorry for putting you in this condition. Forgive me.
The fire had gone out. Total darkness swallowed the compound. I could hear it clearly now. Footsteps, slow, dragging. Not from the gate, from inside the shrine. The chief priest quickly grabbed his staff and began chanting under his breath. "Stand behind me," he ordered. My legs were shaking so badly I could barely move. The shrine curtain slowly lifted on its own. No wind, no human touch, just movement.
Wait, before we continue, smash that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss amazing African folktale stories like this. Hit the like button if this story moved you. It really helps our channel grow. Comment below. Tell us where you're watching from and which part of the story touched you the most. I want to see all your thoughts. And if you're craving more African folktales, check out the Bumped app on the Play Store. Hundreds of stories waiting for you. Okay, now let's get back to the story.
Then a shadow stepped forward, tall, distorted. Its shape looked almost human, but not fully. My breathing stopped. "Who dares disturb sacred balance?" A voice echoed, not loud, but heavy. It did not sound like one person. It sounded layered. The chief priest knelt instantly. "Great custodians, she has returned in repentance." My heart nearly exploded. The shadow turned slightly toward me. "She carries contamination." "I know," the chief priest replied carefully, "but she seeks cleansing." The air became thick. The smell from my body intensified suddenly, sharp and putrid. I screamed softly as pain shot through my lower back. The shadow moved closer. "Foreign substance, greed, seduction intent, blood agreement." Blood agreement? Black money. The shadow lifted what looked like a smoky hand. "You signed a pact." "No," I cried. "It was just a loan." "Blood was mentioned." My knees gave way. The chief priest turned sharply toward me. "Did you thumbprint anything?" My mind flashed back. The contract. They had pricked my finger for biometric confirmation. A drop of blood. I felt cold. "Yes." The shadow let out a sound that almost felt like laughter. "Ha ha ha. Debt sealed in blood is not ordinary debt." I began crying uncontrollably. "Please, I just wanted money. I didn't know." The shadow stopped moving. Then it spoke slowly. "She may live." Hope flickered in my chest. "But balance must be restored." The chief priest bowed his head. "What is required?" Silence. Then, "The one who bound her must release her." My heart skipped. "Black money?" I whispered. The shadow faded slightly. "The one who profits from stolen flesh." Then, everything went dark again. The fire reignited by itself. The shrine became normal. I collapsed on the ground shaking. The chief priest looked disturbed. "This is bigger than I thought." "What does it mean?" I asked weakly. "It means your problem is no longer only spiritual. It is contractual." The next morning, the village was no longer peaceful. A black Hilux truck was parked near the square. Black money had arrived openly. My heart pounded when I saw my two uncles standing beside them, laughing, talking. My stomach dropped. No, it couldn't be. I moved closer quietly and hid behind the mango tree near the square. One of the Black money men spoke calmly. As agreed, once she defaults fully, The land becomes ours. You will receive your percentage. My ears rang. Percentage? My Uncle Emeka nodded. She has always been stubborn. This will teach her. I felt like someone stabbed my chest. They weren't fighting me for the land. They were working with the lenders. They knew. They knew about the loan. They probably tipped them about my return to the village. My head began spinning. So this was the plan. Encourage me to fight for the land, let me take a loan, default, then Blackmoney takes the land legally under collateral seizure, and my uncles get a cut. Tears blurred my vision. Family, blood, betrayal. Suddenly, one of the Blackmoney men said something that froze my soul. And about extraction. My uncle lowered his voice. It must be done quietly. Extraction. They were not just planning to take the land. They were planning to remove what was inside me. My legs felt weak. The man continued. The decay process has begun. Once it reaches peak stage, we retrieve, dead or alive. Dead or alive. I nearly fainted. Suddenly, someone grabbed my arm from behind. I almost screamed. It was Chooks. You won't die? He whispered urgently. He dragged me away from the square. Those people know they joke. I was shaking uncontrollably. They are working with my uncles, I said weakly. I know, he replied. You know? I shouted. He looked away. You know they answer my calls. Even in the middle of terror, guilt stabbed me. Zainab, he said seriously now, you have less than 24 hours. My breathing quickened. They are not waiting for market day again. What do you mean? They brought a medical van. My blood froze. They want to remove it tonight. The world tilted. But the shrine said the one who bound me must release me. Chooks frowned. What shrine? Forget it. My mind was racing. 2 paths. Let the shrine purge it spiritually, but that involves public humiliation. Let Blackmoney extract it physically and possibly die. Time was running out. Chooks gripped my shoulders. Listen to me carefully. I looked into his eyes. For the first time in your life, stop thinking about pride. His words hit deep. Pride. That was where all this started. He continued. I know where they kept your mother. My heart stopped. You do? He nodded. But if we go there, there is no turning back. I swallowed hard. Behind us, the Blackmoney medical van engine started. In the distance, the chief priest's shrine bell began ringing violently. 2 forces, 1 night, 1 decision. And for the first time since university, I realized beauty was never my greatest problem. It was ego. I know where they kept your mother, Chooks whispered again. Where? I asked, my voice barely stable. The abandoned rice mill near the old express road. My heart began racing uncontrollably. That place? I gasped. That place has no security. He shook his head. They don't need security. Fear is their security. Behind us, the Blackmoney medical van engine roared louder. We had little time. Listen, Chook said firmly. If we go there and they see you, they will grab you immediately. You are more valuable than the land. Valuable. The word made me feel sick. They weren't after just money. They were after the substance inside me. What is the plan? I asked. He pulled out a small knife from his pocket. I will distract them. No, I snapped. They will kill you. He smacked faintly. I have lived on the street long enough. I know how to escape. For the first time, I looked at him differently. This Agbero I used to mock was the only one standing beside me now. Family betrayed me. Friends vanished. He stayed. We moved quickly through the back paths of the village to avoid being seen. My body hurt with every step. The decay was getting worse. Halfway through the path, my phone buzzed again. Message from Blackmoney. We are coming for collection. I switched it off. When we reached the rice mill, my heart almost jumped out of my chest. 2 guards stood outside. The Blackmoney van was parked at the side. They moved your mother here this evening, Chooks whispered. My breathing became heavy. Stay low, he instructed. Suddenly, loud shouting erupted from the village square. The shrine bell began ringing wildly. Chooks frowned. What are they starting? At the same time, one of the guards stepped away to answer a phone call. Chooks moved, fast. He threw a stone at the opposite side of the building. The guard turned. That was our chance. We slipped inside quietly. The place smelt like rust and old grain. Then I heard it. Mama? A faint sob. Zainab! I ran toward the sound. She was tied to a wooden chair but unharmed. Tears filled my eyes as I untied her quickly. I'm so sorry, Mama. She looked at me with tired eyes. What did you put inside your body? She whispered weakly. Even now, she knew. Suddenly, a loud gunshot echoed outside. Chooks! I froze. Another shout. Footsteps rushing inside. They're here, my mother screamed. Before I could react, 3 men burst into the room. Black shirts, cold eyes. You saved us stress, one of them said calmly. My heart dropped. They weren't angry. They were pleased. We were going to come for you anyway. They grabbed my arms roughly. Leave my daughter, my mother screamed. One of them slapped her hard. Something snapped inside me. Don't touch her, I screamed. They smirked. You signed a blood agreement. Now we collect. Outside, I could hear more shouting. But it wasn't just human shouting. It sounded like chanting. The shrine ritual had begun. They dragged me outside toward the medical van. The night felt heavier than before. But as we reached the van, the ground suddenly shook slightly. The air changed. The men paused. What is that? One of them muttered. From the direction of the village, a strong wind began blowing. Dust filled the air. The shrine bell was ringing non-stop. Then something shocking happened.
Wait, you can enjoy more stories from our Bumped app on Play Store. Go over to Play Store, search for Bumped, install the app instantly for free. Hundreds of stories waiting for you to watch. Or check the description of this video. The app link is there. Open it and download Bumped app instantly today. See you on Bumped.
One of the Blackmoney men suddenly clutched his chest. He fell to the ground, gasping. What is happening? Another shouted. The sky rumbled. Not thunder, something else. The chief priest's voice echoed faintly through the wind. Release what is not yours. The man on the ground began screaming. His nose started bleeding heavily. Within seconds, he stopped moving. Dead. The other 2 men panicked. This wasn't part of the deal, one shouted angrily. Deal? That word caught my attention. Suddenly, headlights appeared from behind us. Another car pulled up, a luxury SUV. The door opened slowly, and the man who stepped out made my blood freeze. Uncle Emeka, my own uncle. He wasn't surprised. He wasn't scared. He looked irritated. What is going on here? He barked at the Blackmoney men. The ritual backfired, one of them shouted. My uncle's face hardened. Fools! I told you not to move until after market day. My whole body went numb. He wasn't just collaborating, he was directing them. You, I whispered weakly. He looked at me with cold eyes. You brought this upon yourself. Why? I cried. Why would you do this? He stepped closer. Your father trusted me with that land. You think I will allow a small girl waste it? My chest tightened painfully. So you teamed up with criminals? He laughed softly. Criminals? Do you know who owns Blackmoney? Silence. He pointed to himself. I do. My ears rang loudly. You what? I invested in the clinic too. The world spun around me. You injected yourself with what I funded. My legs almost gave way. The attraction formula works perfectly until the death period expires. I felt like vomiting. You planned everything. He leaned closer. You were supposed to default. We seized the land legally. Then we retrieve the material and resell. Material. Not human. Material. Suddenly, a loud explosion of wind knocked everyone off balance. The chief priest appeared at the entrance of the compound, his staff glowing faintly under the moonlight. You have crossed the line, Emeka. My uncle smacked. This is business. The chief priest's voice became deeper. You mixed sacred substance with greed. The remaining black money men began backing away slowly. The wind intensified. My body started burning from inside. Pain shot through my back. I screamed. It's happening, someone shouted. The chief priest looked at me urgently. Choose now. Choose what? I cried in agony. Human extraction or spiritual purge? My uncle shouted angrily, grab her! Two forces pulled toward me, my uncle's men reaching forward, the chief priest chanting loudly, the pain inside me rising like fire. And in that moment, I realized this was not just about beauty, not just about land, not just about death. This was about my soul, and I had seconds to decide. Choose now, the chief priest's voice thundered. My uncle's men were closing in. The pain in my body was unbearable. It felt like fire was spreading under my skin. Grab her, Uncle Emeka shouted. I looked at my mother, tired, crying, broken. Then I looked at my uncle, the man my father trusted, the man who funded the clinic, the man who turned me into a walking investment. Then I looked at the chief priest. His eyes were steady, not desperate, not greedy, just firm. Spiritual purge, I screamed. My uncle roared in anger. Foolish girl. The chief priest slammed his staff on the ground. The earth vibrated. A strong wind knocked the black money men backward. I collapsed to my knees. The pain intensified. It felt like something was trying to crawl out of my body. The chief priest began chanting loudly. The air grew heavy. My uncle tried to run toward me again, but suddenly, Chooks appeared from nowhere and tackled one of the men. Chaos erupted. Dust filled the air. My back burned hotter and hotter. Then, a loud tearing sound. I screamed at the top of my lungs. Something dark and thick spilled onto the ground behind me. The smell was horrific. But this time, it wasn't spreading. It was separating. The chief priest pointed his staff at it. Return to where you came from. The black substance began writhing on the ground like it was alive. My uncle's eyes widened in fear. No, that formula cost millions. Before he could finish, the dark mass suddenly shot toward him. It moved like smoke, fast. It entered through his nose and mouth. He screamed, loud, terrifying. His body convulsed violently. The black money men ran. Even the remaining guard fled into the night. Uncle Emeka fell to the ground, gasping. His skin began turning slightly purple. The contamination returned to its sponsor, the chief priest declared. My uncle crawled weakly. Help me! No one moved. He began coughing violently. The same smell, but stronger. Within seconds, he stopped moving. Dead. Silence swallowed the compound. The wind died down. The night became still. I collapsed fully to the ground. Everything went black. When I woke up, it was morning. I was lying inside the shrine. My mother sat beside me, crying softly. You are alive, she whispered. I tried to sit up. My body felt weak, but lighter. The swelling was gone. The purple patches had faded. My shape had reduced drastically, back to normal. No exaggeration, no artificial curves, just me. The chief priest stood nearby. It is done, he said. What about... I hesitated. Your uncle? He finished. He paid his debt. My heart felt heavy. Despite everything, he was still family. What about black money? I asked. The chief priest exhaled. Once the source collapsed, the structure will crumble. Without the formula, their leverage was gone. But cleansing is not complete, he added. My stomach tightened. What else? You must confess publicly. My chest felt tight. The humiliation I feared. The entire village would know I tried to seduce the chief priest. The entire village would know I altered my body for attention. But this time, I didn't argue. That evening, under the mango tree in the village square, I stood before everyone, my mother by my side. I confessed everything, the surgery, the loan, the seduction attempt, the greed, the pride. The villagers murmured. Some laughed, Some shook their heads, but something unexpected happened. An old woman stood up. "Young girls are dying in silence," she said loudly. "At least this one survived to speak." Silence fell. Then another woman spoke. "My daughter almost did the same thing in the city." Then another. The shame began turning into something else. Awareness. The chief priest raised his hand. "Let this be a lesson. Shortcuts attract shadows." That day, I lost my pride publicly, but I regained something greater: my life, my mother, and my peace. 3 months later, the land case was reopened. Without Uncle Emeka's manipulation, the elders ruled fairly. The land was registered in my mother's name. We did not sell it. Instead, we leased a portion legally to a farming cooperative. Income came slowly, but clean. Black money disappeared from the region. Rumors said investigations began in the city about illegal clinics. As for me, my beauty, it changed. Not physically, internally. Men no longer followed me unnaturally. The strange magnetism was gone. And for the first time, I felt normal. One evening, while helping my mother in the compound, someone cleared his throat behind me. It was Chooks. Clean shirt, no alcohol smell, hair properly cut. "I did try change," he said shyly. I couldn't help but smile. "You are always better than I thought." He scratched his head awkwardly. "You're still fine, even without all those additions." I laughed softly, this time not out of pride, but gratitude. I learnt the hard way that beauty gotten by desperation carries hidden invoices. Loans signed in blood collect more than money, and shortcuts often lead through darkness before daylight. As for the smell that almost ruined my life, it saved it, because sometimes what embarrasses you publicly is what rescues you spiritually. And that is how I, Zainab, almost lost everything chasing attention, but found myself in the ashes of my own pride.
So tell me, what lessons have you actually learned? I would really love to see your comments in the comment section down below. And remember to support this channel. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Just say something. Tell me, where are you watching from and which part of the story touched you the most? I would love to see all in the comment section below.